Indigenous culture is part of Indian heritage. You can speak of some. And then we discuss these four divisions of Vedas: Samhita, Brahman, Aranyaka, and Upanishad, in which we are focusing on Upanishad. And these Upanishad, they belong to one of the Vedas, either Rig, Yajur, Sam, Atharva. So these are the Vedas, and each Veda will have these four parts. Each Veda will have Samhita, Brahman, Aranyaka, Upanishad. And then Upanishad, each Veda have this further many. So this is like this. Four Veda. And this four Veda will have, each Veda will have four parts. Remember, Veda is not a book, one book. Generally, Indian people think that okay, there is a Rig, so there is one book. There is no one book. And each book has a, they have lost almost 80% of Vedic literature. But if you go to a place where Vedas are stored, it requires few racks. But it's not. Rig Veda will have an entire book with rack of it. It's not just one book. Many texts are there. So it's each Veda has four parts. Those four parts are these. So each Veda will have its Samhita, each Veda will have Brahmana, each Veda will have Aranyaka, each Veda will have Upanishad. And we are focusing on only this because this is a philosophy, Jnana Kanda, and this is more about rituals. So we are discussing philosophical aspects. And within that, Upanishad 10 are main ones, and we try to memorize each of the Satasana, Munda Mandukya Daitri, Aitareya, and Chandukyam, Krida, Radha, Kamda. So it has these 10 names: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because these are principal Upanishads, because Adi Shankaracharya, one of the prominent master, he wrote commentary on it. So and then we discuss these key terms. Today we will discuss this shloka. This shloka is coming from one Upanishad. One of the first Upanishad is called Isho, I-S-H-O, Isho Upanishad. Ish Upanishad becomes Isho Upanishad. This is also called Isavasya. Isavasya. Isavasya Upanishad. Both means the same. It is either called Isho Upanishad or Isavasya Upanishad. And this is the first verse. This is the first verse of Ishavasya. So Ishavasya Upanishad starts with this. It starts with this. So this is the name of Upanishad. This is the first verse. It says Purnam. Om is just invocatory. Om. In many mantra you will find this Om. This is just a syllable. So says Purnamada, Purnamidam. Purnat Purnam Udachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Don't worry for Sanskrit. If you try to memorize, very good. My mother made me to memorize this when I was just 3-4 years old. In Indian system, the traditional family, even when you don't know you to speak, even you in your family system, if you are in social, many prayers you are supposed to memorize. So I memorized much before I started speaking properly. It's good to memorize. These are just of course, a 4-year-old kid does not know language meaning. But what is the idea is that at a very, very basic, at a very young age, if you memorize certain things, maybe in later stage of your life, some things come in. Which is, and at a very basic stage, Indian pedagogy, Indian traditional system of teaching is not bottom up. One is bottom up approach. Like you start from very basics. A, B, C, then you learn words, then you learn the sentences. Here in India, it is top-down approach. Top-down. A very small child, if you go to Tibetan monasteries, I have seen, I have not been to other monasteries, but I have seen a child in Himalayan regions, a small monk is taught many, is supposed to memorize many prayers, many philosophical texts. He does not know the meaning. Brain is yet to develop, but most of you, I think, those who are from Vietnam, you may have memorized the Great Compassion Mantra. And I don't know whether you know the meaning. Okay, but then why such system is there? You memorize many things. Maybe at some point of your life, the meanings will reveal to you. And may not. It might be just based on the ritualistic system. And maybe sometimes somebody gets interested. So it's better to memorize. Not necessary for this class, it's not necessary. I'm not going to check that whether you have memorized this mantra. But for your own personal practice, spiritual practice, it's good. So we'll focus our discussions only with the translation. It says Purnam Ada, that is infinite. That means that. The Upanishad is not defining that is God, or that is Buddha, or that is mind, or that is supreme being. No. Just it is saying Purnam Ada, that. That, you can also see that means whatever you feel that, there is me and that. So whatever is other than you is that. Are you getting? So one is subjective reality and one is objective reality. So whatever object you see, that's that. You see that or this, that, so that is infinite. And then you have this subjective reality. This is infinite. That is infinite, this is infinite. Or let us say here the God or the Brahman or the supreme reality is infinite. Infinite is a mathematical term. It is denoted with this. Infinite. Infinite. Infinite means which has no limits. Limitless.
Numberless.
Limitless. Infinite. Yeah, you can't measure it, it's infinite. That is infinite and this is infinite. Purnamada Purnamidam. Purna Purnamudachyate. From that comes this. From that, the supreme reality comes this. That is infinite. This is infinite. Why this is infinite? Because from that infinite, this infinite. Or Purna also we can translate which is complete, which is whole. Complete, whole. Purna means whole, complete. It's complete to maximum extent. So it is saying that is infinite, this is infinite, and from that infinite, this infinite has come. If this is added or subtracted from that, if this is added or subtracted from that, if it is added or subtracted from that, that still remains infinite. So it is like in mathematics, I don't know how much mathematics you will learn, but in mathematics, infinite plus infinite is infinite. And infinite minus infinite is also infinite. This is a different sort of mathematics. But this is how science mathematicians they know this. Mathematics professors, if you speak with them, they will agree with this. So if you add something to infinite or subtract from infinite, infinite is infinite. Purnasya purnam adaya purnamevavasishyate. And then this is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is just again Om and peace, peace. So this is Ishavasya Upanishad also this occurs as the first verse in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also it occurs. So we are referring to Ishavasya. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. This is a very famous chanting you listen at various places. It is talking about that supreme reality is infinite. This individual reality is also infinite. And when you subtract infinite from infinite, it still remains infinite. So there is infinite capacity within us. Because we have come from that infinite. One of the basic principles of Upanishad. So based on this, we are developing it. Okay. The second very verse of the same Upanishad was Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam. That is why this name comes Ishavasyam, because the word starts with Ishavasyam. ईशावास्यम इदं सर्वं यत् किंचित् जगत्यां जगत् येन सत्येन भुञ्जीता मार्गतः तत्सदन. In this translation, Isha. Now, Isha means supreme divine, or Lord, or God. The theistic philosophy, those who believe in God, they call Isha means the God, Lord. So Isha is a term, English term for that. Isha. So it is saying that supreme divine, Isha, he's vast, he's residing everywhere. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Whatever exists in this world, everything is pervaded by Isha, that supreme. Whatever exists in this phenomenal world, it is pervaded, or that the supreme divine Isha resides everywhere. Keeping this in mind, this is in bracket, enjoy the worldly pleasure with renunciation. This is something contradictory. At the same moment, the statement is saying enjoy the worldly pleasure, but with the idea of renunciation. It is not saying that you leave the world. Enjoy the. Remember, this is. You can see it as also as a Buddhist middle path, but it's Buddhism is yet to come. This is pre-Buddhist philosophy. But these types of ideas are appearing. So it is saying, enjoy the tyaktena bhunjita. Enjoy the worldly pleasure with the idea of renunciation. Purport, that means crave, not get attracted. Purport, not get attached, attracted to wealth of others. Don't have a big house on its vulture. Don't try to grab others' wealth. This is an ethical statement. But this is very interesting. There is one meaning is enjoy the worldly pleasure with idea of renunciation. One very good example is lotus. You know, we are in Nalanda University. Nalanda means Nal also means lotus. And lotus is born in mud. If it is a very pure lake, there won't be lotus. You know, we have a Kamal Sagar in our university, the biggest lake. And there are no lotus, there are no Kamal in that. So I asked the engineers like those who are, they said, bring some lotus. You are calling it lotus lake, and there is no lotus in that. So you know what the people said? They said, water is very pure. Let it become dirty. It will. Once it becomes dirty, then there will be lotus. So lotus has a very unique characteristic. It Lotus, you know, the flower lotus. So lotus will grow in mud. But lotus is never, you know, if you put water on lotus or lotus leaf, water won't stick to it. Have you seen this lotus leaf? Lotus leaf, water won't stick to it.
Yes.
This paper will absorb water, but lotus leaf will never absorb water. And lotus is necessarily born in mud or in the dirty water. Similarly, this Buddha or our enlightened will be born in samsara. Samsara, this worldly, which is not very good place. It has a suffering. But necessarily the way lotus born in muddy water, similarly our enlightened or Buddha is necessarily born in this samsara. That is why it is shown in Hindu or Buddhist deity, they are shown sitting on lotus. In reality, if somebody sits on lotus, lotus will collapse. No? Lotus cannot exist, but it is actually symbol. The wisdom is born from that samsara. That is the idea. Pain tekten bhunjita. Lotus is not get Bhagavad Gita, another Hindu scripture. The Lord Krishna says, Yogina karma kurvanti padma patra vivhamsa. The yogis, the enlightened people work in this world like the lotus lives in water. Lotus lives in water. And it is not affected by the water. That is how you should enjoy the worldly pleasures without getting affected from it. The way lotus is not affected by the water.
Not get attached.
Get attached. So this is again not renouncing but inner renunciation. There is a renunciation, the way enjoy the worldly pleasure with an idea of renunciation. This is one meaning. And interestingly, our scriptures, when the commentary is written, our scriptures don't have just tell you one meaning, there are many meanings. For example, Nalanda has a Nalamda, that means giver of lotus, giver of wisdom. Another meaning is No Alamda, giving without limit. So one word has multiple meaning, multiple interpretation. Similarly, this has another meaning. It says, Tiyene Chaktena Bhunjitha. Now, there is another translation I am giving, which is also correct for this. Only those renouns who have enjoyed the pleasure. It's another translation of the same statement. Only those are able to renounce those who have enjoyed pleasure. Let me tell you a simple way. A beggar, a person who has no money, he cannot say that I have renounced something. Are you getting this? Buddha can tell that I have renounced because he is a king, he is a prince. He is a prince. So he can renounce. He enjoyed all the worldly pleasures. Maximum extent. If you read his biography, all the worldly pleasures he enjoyed. Then the renunciation is coming. Not just, like a beggar. He is also bhikshu. Bhikshu means monk. Literally in Sanskrit it means bhikshu, which means beggar actually. So he is begging. He is going to place with his begging mouth. He is begging for food, begging for food. But this begging is not like a beggar. The way beggar goes to go home, and he also does the same. And not just Buddha, even in Jainism, which we will study, Jaina Tirthankara, there are 24 such enlightened masters. They all are princes. Even previous Buddha, before Buddha, there were many Buddhas like Kashyapa and Dipankara. They all were very rich people. They all were princes or kings. So this is another meaning. Only those renouns who have enjoyed it. Okay? So this is what this philosophy, Upanistic philosophy, is trying to tell you. up, sorry. Okay, we will, today, I don't know, I think we should have some extra classes because there are holidays and also, okay, we will see. We will see in next week because there are not other many things to cover and it's given. Okay, we will.